Here is Lani Welch. Now, Lani Welch, she was a victim. And when she called the police, they didn't do shit about it. It says here I used to be a shy person, she says, quiet, a people pleaser. I was afraid of confrontation. I never wanted to make anyone angry. I would just take whatever happened. That's how Lani Welch, 48, describes herself prior to the last 18 months. This is from alamosanews.com. So, Lani Welch, she's going to, along with 4 other people, there's like 8 complaints total. They went to some board, and then they sent a letter to the DA, Alonzo Payne, and then that letter went to the governor's office, and then the governor referred it to the attorney general's office. And so let's talk about Lani Welch. There's one part here that I want to specifically mention. She had actually she's getting stalked and abused. She's getting bruises on her arms and legs. There's this guy, Jeffrey Tonzo, man, had 5 prior convictions for domestic violence. And so you had Lani Welch, who reported to the Alamosa County Sheriff's Office that she had been assaulted. She took pictures of it. There's a 27-page handwritten statement submitted to the investigator in the office of Robert Willett. A week later, Welch reported receiving numerous threatening phone calls from Tonzo. So this Tonzo, Jeffrey Tonzo, attacked her. Both reports resulted in charges of third-degree assault and stalking being filed in the Alamosa court, and a warrant for Tonzo's arrest being issued. Now, I want to mention this one part because we have a right to security. We have a right to security. If we don't have happiness and security according to our Constitution, we get to change our government. And so, having security, you have to have security. For freedom, for life, you have to have security. It's a human need. You're not free if you're always worried about this Tonzo. So you got Jeff Tonzo who's sitting there just terrorizing the shit out of Lani, right? She's trying to get people to listen to her, but Lani Welch the system is failing her. The system is failing her. And it says that she's being diagnosed with PTSD. She's fearful, plagued with overwhelming panic attacks that leave her feeling like she can't breathe, can't speak, can't stop shaking, can't focus, or even think clearly. Well, this is what it feels like when a person is trying to, psychologically terrorize you, trying to scare you. When you don't have security, this is Hobbes' state of nature. Hobbes, he says that if we don't have a civil government, then man, the state of nature, man's state of nature is one of everybody against everybody. You have a war of everyone against everyone. So Thomas Hobbes is going to draw up 19 laws of nature and Leviathan, which, to combat that terrible Hobbesian state of nature. Every man is enemy to every man. Men live without security, then with their own strength and their own invention shall furnish them withal. In this war of every man versus every man, there is no place for industry. No place for industry, no culture of the earth, no navigation nor use of the commodities that may be imported by sea, no commodious building, no instruments of moving and removing such things as require much force, no knowledge of the face of the earth, no account of time, no arts, no letters, no society, in which is worst of all continual fear and danger of violent death, and the life of man in the Hobbesian state of nature, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Security is a natural right. It's a natural freedom. Natural law, we have lots of natural laws. The natural law is law which a rational person can figure out for themselves. We are animals, but we're rational animals. So what can man, the rational animal, figure out for themselves? Well, we have a right to self-defense. We have a right to revolution. We have a right to oxygen, right to food, water, clothing, warmth, and housing, a right to speak, a right to bear arms, right to peacefully assemble, right to subpoena, right to a trial by jury, the right to life, liberty, property, and safety, the right to security. Of course, you have a right to security. Of course, you got a right to security. But for some reason, Lani Welch didn't have a right to security. And why is that? That's total bullshit. So what Lani Welch did is that she was able to get several people. She got with the Rocky Mountain Victim Law Center. She kept very good records, taking photos and building up this case. Said at the sentencing hearing, she read a powerful statement about the impact his assault had on her life. So this is, there's some sort of agreement that he gets 18 months in jail. So long story short, Jeffrey Tonzo pleads guilty in court to a reduced charge of telephone obstruction with the stalking and assault charges dismissed. Wow. So just telephone obstruction. That's what on record on. That's what, not the stalking and assaulting that the motherfucker was doing, but telephone obstruction. Okay. All right, but then we come down here. It says Welch is one of at least 9 victims who filed a complaint against the office of the DA for the 12th Judicial District. In Welch's complaint, she specifically names DA. And then it goes, let's see. Right, and then it goes to this and that, and there's a letter or some shit. But, yeah, this is fantastic. I can totally relate to Lana Welch. Lana Welch deserves to be, protected. The entire criminal justice system is to protect the victim. The criminally accused have rights, but the entire criminal justice system is based upon protecting the victim. Lani Welch calls the cops. She's the victim. The whole, Jeffrey, he has rights and shit, but if he's committing wrongs, then he's got to go to jail. So, yeah, you got rights and shit, but you can't commit crimes. Felonies are the shit you can't do. Freedom, the Bill of Rights are the shit that you can. Legally speaking. So one of the biggest things to me when it comes to police officers, and I hope that, it all ends well for, hopefully, she isn't afraid anymore, Lani Welch. But a lot of times police officers, yeah, they might think that, murder and rape and stealing and violence, maybe that's right or wrong. Who cares, right? They don't give a shit about that. But the worst crime you can commit against a police officer is to disrespect them. If you disrespect a police officer, well, shit, that's just too much. Well, what do you do when a police officer comes on the scene and acting like a dumb fucking fool and isn't going to take the damn thing serious? You need to do your fucking job. Oh, now you're disrespecting me? Now I'm going to, rough you up and try to get you, provoke you into doing, see, you just said the thing and now. So you're the victim and then you just get re-victimized because the damn cop won't do his damn job. Do your fucking job, man. Do your fucking job. How dare you disrespect me? How dare you look me in the eye, boy? Yeah, that dumb shit. That stupid ass fucking shit. So how do you get the, police officer, if they don't want to do their damn job, how do you get them to do their damn job? If you say, do your damn job, that's disrespect, and hell, they'll, make some shit up. And attack you and use the violence to, instead of actually doing their damn job. So the last thing I'm going to mention about this story. So good. This is fantastic. This is what I want to hear. You got to have the Upright Citizens Brigade. You got to have the Vigilant, Justice Citizens Brigade. People have to stand up. when the police and the system don't want to do shit, like I said, it all, so good job, Lani Welch. The last thing I want to do is just read off the rights of victims. What are the rights of victims in Colorado? I wrote them down. Here's 25. All right. The rights of victims comes from Section 16A of Colorado's Bill of Rights in the CRS 24 4.1 302.5. Number 1, the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity. Number 2, the right to be free from intimidation, harassment, or abuse throughout the criminal justice process. Number 3, the right to be informed and present for all critical stages of the criminal justice system. It's a 10-step felony charge criminal procedure process. The right to receive a copy of a sex offender registration termination hearing. The right to receive a free copy of the initial incident report. The right to be informed of when the convict is going to be released or escapes from jail or is pardoned. The right to be heard at any court proceeding. The right to be heard at any court proceeding. The right to consult with the prosecution prior to a disposition or a trial. The right to be informed of the final disposition of the case. The right to restitution in some circumstances. The right to filing civil charges in some circumstances, the right to view the pre-sentence report of the probation department, the right to obtain any incident recording, the right to receive the property that was used for the prosecution back, the right to be informed of the availability of financial assistance and community services for victims, the right to be informed about restorative justice practices, the right to be assured that in any criminal proceeding, the court, the prosecutor, and other law enforcement officials will take appropriate action to achieve a swift and fair resolution of the proceedings, the right to a secure waiting room in court, the right to be informed of STD testing in some circumstances, the right to not testify on work location, home address, phone number, or other locating information, the right to keep thy social security number private and redacted, the right to receive a copy of a victim impact statement form, the right to be heard by phone or similar technology when a victim cannot appear in court, the right to be informed of any rights which the victim has pursuant to the Constitution of the United States or the state of Colorado, the right to be informed of the process for enforcing compliance with the Victims' Rights Act. So, yeah, we got to protect the victims first. You protect the victims first. Jesus Christ. I mean, do I really have to say that out loud?